Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today, the bottom right spawning as the red Terran player playing for Team Kaisi. We have Spirit, the player formerly known as Sol, now known as Spirit, Poland's greatest Terran player, perhaps Poland's greatest player. In the top left, we have Armani, playing for Africa Freaks, I believe. And Zerg player from Korea. Solid top 5, top 6 Korean. Dark Rogue, Solar, Ragnarok, Armani, DRG. DRG probably slightly above Armani, but Armani definitely a solid player. Was a little bit better here at the start of 2021. Felt like he really had a bit of a comeback there, because he's been around for a long time. And then at the start of 2021, he started performing quite well, or maybe it was 2020 already. He had some good performances, I recall, and I kept thinking to myself, oh wow, if it continues like this, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like a top 4 somewhere in the GSL or performs well in an international tournament. But then he kind of fell off as quickly as he rose up as well. And he's still a solid player, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't put the fear into people as much as he did at the start of 21. Spirit, of course, known for his economy, usually. His liking of money. He loves a good triple CC opener. And he loves a good 4 CC opener as well. He's one of the only players that I've seen open up with a 4 CC before he throws down the 3rd barracks. Him and Bunny, the only 2 players that ever have done it. And with Bunny, you can think, well, you know, Bunny likes to be very aggressive, and doing the greediest thing possible is basically like a cheese for him as well. But with Spirit, you know that it's meant to be a heavy eco build. So we see no second gas yet. The factory starting at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3rd CC being thrown down in the next couple of seconds. Reaper hasn't really achieved much of anything yet, except getting a little bit of damage on himself. Goes back away from the range of these Lynx and the Queen. And now we'll start looking to see if we can take out that creep tumor. It's not going to be quite the case here. Second command center on the way. Third command center, second gas, as well as the starport, of course, will all go down before these cars will start. Or at least they should go down before the cars will start. We'll have to wait and see if that's actually going to be the case. Yep, starport goes down, then the cars will start coming out. Reaper gets pushed away as the speed is about to finish up. At a pretty quick timing here. Creep is being spread forward and metabolic boost finishes up. One link will be sent around, of course, to try and get the scout into your opponent's base, see what's going on. Now, first of all, the one thing you definitely want to see is whether there's a wall here or not. Because in case you don't play a fast triple CC, you're going to require a fast 3rd depot, which is always going to be built on the low ground to start a potential wall. Now, as Armani sees no wall, this will tell Armani a whole lot. It will tell Armani, for example, that this is a triple CC opener. Then by the fact that he sees this tech lab being... Actually, that tech lab is kind of odd. You don't see that often. But you see Hellion 3 and 4, so... At least you know that the barracks aren't going to be ultra fast. There's not going to be some triple CC into a 2-1-1 type of opener. Most likely we'll be expecting at least 1 starport unit. Depending on how many Hellions he will see in total, he can decide to go, more Queens or a couple more Lynx out perhaps as well. There's a lot of options here for Armani. We'll see what Spirit decides to do. So far, seems to be going into a more standard 6 Hellion double Banshee opener. Maybe just a single Banshee. No, second Banshee comes down as well. This stim is relatively quick. Barracks 2 and 3 will go down here. At the same time, we see a fast Baneling nest. So Armani is a little bit afraid still. I'm not quite sure what he is afraid of. And with this quick layer coming out as well, this could just be for fast Baneling speed. I'd be surprised to see Nydus on a map this small. Maybe he just wants to play Baneling speed into Evo chambers. But Nydus is definitely still a possibility. It's just rare to see. But just because something is rare to see doesn't mean it's impossible that we're going to see it. Double gas being taken in the natural, followed up most likely by a gas in the main. Fort base should be taken somewhere right now as well. Usually after gas 2 and 3. Double Evo. Okay, so bailing speed into double evo. In that case, the fort gas usually is built at this. There's still no fort base, though. That is a little bit late. That really is a little bit late. It's going up to 5 gas right now. So, is this... Get some macro hatch in the main. Alright, I guess. Overseers being built in the natural. Somehow, some way Armani spotted this. Gets a macro hatch before a 5th base. Now, I've seen a lot of weird things, but that's really pushing it. And it also is kind of a late macro hatch, honestly. Does he just want to undersaturate all of his other bases in this case? Like, what is the plan here? Because you can't build any drones at this point. Like, he is still building drones, but he's just gonna oversaturate. This would make some sense, perhaps, if you open Mura, but if you're not opening Mura, I don't understand it. 10 workers have gone down against these 2 Banshees as well, so the Banshees definitely paid for themselves. Hellions are running back home as a bunker finishes up at the 3rd base, and tanks are being produced currently. The 6 Hellions are at home, and should be able to help out whatever Spirit has planned. Either aggressively or defensively. Bunker will be used defensively most likely, and then the Hellions can be used more aggressively. These can turn into into Banelings and deal a fair amount of damage into this 3rd base. The wall gets completed and Spirit starts moving out. Both the Banshees still alive, 12 kills total. I think all of these are workers. Yep, they are. Armories being built as well. And the first 2 medevacs start flying across the map. They're taking another tank with them as well. And there is a fair amount of Banelings here moving forward. Second stim being used, which means all these Marines will die against a single Bane shot. Spirit needs to be so careful, loses a lot of Marines there. I think that second stim without the medevacs was a bit much. He thought he could be aggressive, but he fought without 1-1. He fought without his second tank. Now he wants to push forward once again, but that's not going to be possible. There's not enough damage output in this army. Fort base is set up finally for Armani as well, and he can start saturating that as the infestation pit gets thrown down. We see a lot of gas floating, which is kind of normal if you go into 5 gas and you're playing only Ling Bane. That is a little bit confusing, a little bit surprising. This is going to get cleaned up. The tank will barely survive and gets lifted back home. We have another potential Baneling run by into this 3rd base. As the 4th is almost done already. Like I said, Spirit always really quick with these extra 4 bases. Double drop is now heading out towards the left side as these return back home. Spirit actually sends the... Okay, no, it's just gonna kill the Overlord. Sets up the tank, should repair that tank as well, as these Banelings are gonna kill the depots. Let's see if the response out of Spirit is quick enough. It's not. It's going to lose a decent amount of workers. 8. 8 workers and 2 depots against 8 Banelings. Not super worth it, of course. But 92 workers on the side of Armani. 92? How's that even possible on 4 bases? I mean, main is already about to run out. Just gonna get some heavy oversaturation here. This 5th is vital. This 5th needs to survive. It doesn't survive, it also doesn't get cancelled. At the same time, we have a 4 medevac move out towards the far right side, as these 2 medevacs are moving towards the left and now get queued up back into the natural base. So there's a lot of action here coming out of Spirit, who wants to make some plays, but so far, I mean, cancelling the 5th was actually big. So we'll give him that. Lurker Dens being built, as well as Burrow. Not the cleanest control, but it's clean enough. And now these Marines will start dropping into this Spore. Kind of surprising, but Armani also didn't expect it. And in the confusion, actually ends up losing 3 workers. These 2 medevacs, well, at least there's still some Marines in them, but they also didn't achieve very much. Creep at the 5th is very mediocre. Quite mediocre indeed. But everywhere else is looking completely fine. As not too many scans have been used yet here for Spirit to clear that creep. The tank count is slowly but surely growing. We're currently at 5, 3 more barracks on the way. Liberators are being produced as well at this point. And we'll see a Ghost Academy, or I can only imagine we'll see a Ghost Academy go down in the next few minutes. Or in the next few seconds even, I wouldn't mind. 5th CC first, no actually. CC 5 and 6 are here, and CC 7 is in the main base. This run by is not going to be too fruitful here for Armani. Spirit really isn't using these drops very much. He's just kind of idling them. And continues tank production, sensor towers, more command centers. And on this map we see that the issue for Terran often is the 5th base. This should be the 5th most likely, just seeing how the setup is currently. But we'll have to wait and see if that's actually going to be the case. I mean, there's a couple of command centers there. There's one command center in the main that can fly over towards the left technically. At the same time, we have some creep denial here. Is there still creep queens available? Oh yes, we have a lot of queens actually. Some of them running around, some of them staying at home. Just hugging the macro hatch, I guess. 98 workers currently here for Armani. And this creep spread is looking quite solid. A Ling burrowed at every expansion. Will not only give him a warning, but also will annoy the crap out of Spirit. Adrenal glands completes 2-2. And the first Nydus network is on the way here. Spirit's just getting pushed back into an extremely defensive position. Ghost Academy has finished. And I think it's time for the first Overseer to perhaps start moving forward. And look for some angles here. Yeah, here we have it. This Overseer is going to be very important in this process of getting a Nydus into the main base. I think Spirit sees that and should ask himself, hey, at this timing, what is an Overseer really going to scout? Immediately starts the turrets as well. There's really no space either for Nyduses. It's kind of funky. It makes it very difficult. One tank gets pulled into the main base. We'll take out this Nydus before it gets set up. And the Ghost will snipe this Overseer and force it to go home or force it to go to Zerg heaven. Marine Marauder army will try to deny a little bit of creep, but instead a tank gets abducted. And the Marine Marauder army gets pushed back. We have 2 Ghosts out currently. This Ghost and this Overseer are having a stare-off. Just this Ghost I don't think is quite enough. The siege up here also is not going to do anything. I like this snipe on the Overseer, but I think the priority should be with the Nydus. We'll get the Nydus down before anything can truly pop out. It feels like Armani is just playing very heavily around this 5th base denial, while taking 6 bases himself, getting spines up, getting spores up. Spirit is not in a hurry either here. You see that? 86 workers, so there's going to be some major oversaturation in basically every base that isn't the 4th. I'm surprised that the Armani decides to go in with, because this is obviously a well set up defense. And thus it gets cleared out relatively easily as well. So these 2 Overseers will fly into the natural. They get spotted. And the Nydus will not finish up. There is a single Nydus worm only, or a single Nydus network, I believe. So single Nydus worms are the name of the game for now. As this Overseer eventually will also fall. Maru's still one of the only players that consistently just builds 2 Vikings to deal with these Overseers. He says, sure, you'll get 1 Nydus down, but your Overseers always will die. As a couple of snipes will end the life of these Overseers. And that's really the hidden cost, of course, as well, of the Nydus network. Zergs already often say... Oh, that's a mistake out of the Zerg here, actually. Or this is the most brilliant bait. Oh my god, he almost baited himself into his own nuke. That would have been quite something. Yeah, the hidden cost of the Knight is, of course, the Overseers that you tend to lose with them as well. Big Ling attack into this 3rd base, but there's a lot of units in position. And these, they're just rallied into their death, honestly. A lot of extra command centers being built. Spirit's just taking this so slow. And oh, that's the 2nd nuclear silo here, by the way. So you have number 1, and then we have number 2 over here. Lots of turrets being sprawled around. Corruptors on the way. Seems like Armani wants to go into Brute Lords. I think the Ghost has cancelled already at this point. We'll take out 2 more Lings with his auto attack. And then we'll die. New nuke starting immediately though. You have anything else going on the side from Spirit? It's not sending anything out yet. There is a Ghost here, which is positioned suspiciously.
Command center base is under attack.
as 2 links are being sent in every single base.
Upgrade complete.
I wonder if the creep spread is good enough where you can just kind of build spores here and start going in with Broodlord Infestor. This could potentially be a big engagement though. There's no Vipers in this army, but these tanks are somehow in range. Defensive nuke is being cast here on this right side. I like the way that Spirit is using the defensive nukes here. That's kind of cool. I feel blind on the left side currently. 8 Broodlords are on the way. Once the Broodlord is out, of course, the Terran often feels kind of emboldened in their move-outs. There's still a lot of workers here for Spirit. Even though I don't think that's quite necessary. I mean, he has, what, 10 orbitals at this point? 9 orbital commands. He has 2 more command centers on the way. Like, you can definitely get rid of 20, 25 workers here and be absolutely fine economically. He has plenty of minerals as well in the bank. Just mine a little bit more gas, I'd say. Go up to that 10 gas and... I mean, good luck to Armani trying to match your army. It's just not possible. At least not with similar mining at the same time. These ghosts will snipe out this lurker. The ghost count has risen up to 13. There's 9 tanks, 5 liberators. The command center gets rebuilt here. I think with a scan you can actually kill that here, Spirit. Look at this. This guy's just playing a game of dodge the spine. And he's doing a pretty good job so far. Now he cloaks up as well. Wow. Breaking the rules, huh? Like it wasn't easy enough already. Takes out that the lurker over there, lose a couple of marauders on the far right side. I feel like Armani's playing a bit too slow though. He either needs to take this base and this base, or he really needs to start pushing a bit more aggressively with some spores over here. Or at least have, like, he really needed a spore wall a while ago, I think. Spore spine wall. So he can fight these liberators with a bit more ease. And Broodlords here are moving in, not on a move though. Will not start attacking these marines until it's too late. Double lurker drop heading towards, well, where is it heading towards actually? Towards the 3rd base. This ghost is still moving back and forth. We have 2 nukes in these silos. As a 2nd armory is being produced here. 2 nukes are being used at the same time. And it's really just being used as a tool to push this back. So these nukes are being kind of... Oh, they're not going to get cancelled here, as they will hit. Well, they'll also kill this lib. Almost a net negative. Kills like 3 spines. Also gets a couple of creep tumors though, and this base will fall. So really just used as a zoning tool. More than anything else. More ghosts also in production, 19. As you see, Spirit went down to 67 workers. That could still go lower. I feel like the guy, like back in the day, we'd often have, like at a kid's party or something like that, when you're like 10, there's a guy with a bar and you need to move underneath the bar while leaning backward, you know? And then that guy would always be some jolly middle-aged man going, I think you can go lower. I feel the same right now watching Spirit play and seeing his worker count. Like, I really do believe that he can go lower. Like, he has freaking 11 orbital, 9 orbitals still. But just because he hasn't morphed this into an orbital yet, he only... Yeah, and this one. Yeah, see, he should have 11. I can count. Another nuke will go down here. Let's take a look if Armani is paying attention. Oh, he's going to try to kill it with these spores in his spine. The Marine army is also moving in at the same time. I don't think Armani quite expected that to happen. The spore gets taken out, but these Marines also die. Painful. Very painful even. I wonder if Spirit is winning this or not. The Broodlords keep pushing forward and forward and forward. Trying to deny bases, but at the same time Spirit is getting the bases on the top side. Another nuke gets cast here. How many? 25 ghosts, huh? Nuke hits absolutely nothing. How many nukes have we had? Can you see that? Units lost. I guess it's not lost because you use them, but it takes like 4, nah, more like 7 or so. I wish I could count. Do we have any available currently? Yeah, it's a unit, right? Okay, we don't have any nukes currently available. Spirit is kind of running out of money as well. He does start 2 new ones. Also starts a factory, so maybe wants to start transitioning into Thors. So there's already 1 Thor out. With decent upgrades as well. Vehicle plating as well as ship weapons finally on the way. You have a single Thor which starts taking out this base. Oh, Changeling's going for a surround. I would have loved to see a citizen's arrest with the Changelings. Not quite going to happen. 2 Lings will move in. Start attacking this Thor. Cracklings are insane. Lings with the adrenal glands upgrades are so good. A lot of ghosts here in the middle of the map as well. And scares me at least a tiny tad. Thor gets saved from the wrath of the Hydras. So the planetary will stay up for now. But could die anytime the moment Armani decides to go there. You're kind of fighting in a split map scenario here. Is it a double nuke again? I think it is. Or just one. Oh, that was double. That was a double nuke. Gets a decent amount of damage on that hatch as well. At the same time he's losing his own planetary though. I mean, this all looks fun in games, to be fun in games for Armani, but at the end of the day he needs to get a good fight. Because he's not outmining his opponent by any stretch of the imagination. Liberators will help out in this defense. There is a lot of ghosts available. Thors are also here though. 2 more ghost men are being sent out. Is this a nuke flank? The flanking nuke is something that I haven't seen before. It also isn't going to work. Instead he'll just go for some EMPs, I imagine. Look at that, look, oh my god, the EMP flank worked. The ghost flank. Legendary moves here. Well, the Liberators are getting quite low. More snipes going down. Thors will not be capable of saving this base. And if these Libs die as well, this actually could be pretty painful here. I think this potentially is a good fight for Spirit. But potentially also is an awful fight for Spirit. Unit lost-wise, this doesn't look all that great. Armani, however, just doesn't have that much money either. Like, he has a lot of money, just not a lot of gas. So, I'm surprised he goes back into, what was it? 7 more Infestors, 10 more Corruptors. I think just build, like, 500 Links at this point. Well, it's a bit much, but like 150 Links or so. And just start killing bases on the side. Because obviously we're going to be playing with some momentum in this game. But maybe I'm incorrect there. That is possible. Lots of Corruptors are out. There's no more Brood Lords, except for this one. Wait, that's not a Brood Lord. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it must have died as I was clicking it. Probably this Thor had something to do with it. Probably the Thor that had something to do with it. Spirit keeps happily expanding. Gets another planetary, another command center as well. Still has... Hello? What is this guy doing? Where is he going? Oh, he's being queued up all the way over here. I feel like it would be faster just build a new command center, but this what is another nuke that's kind of being used as a zoning tool here. These ghosts are actually in a fair amount of trouble as well. Ghost gets taken out, so the nuke will never see the light of day. Maybe that's a good thing. That was a big mine hit, by the way. Gets 10 kills in one shot. So the Corruptors will take out this planetary, or at least attempt to. I don't really see anything. If only turrets were as good as spores and they could move. They could have some potential, but not quite the case. Spirit needs to be very careful. Scans forward. Decent snipes on these Hydras as well. There's still mines to move back to. And there's a lot of bio as well. I like these mines being produced. I like the larger Marauder count as well. As there's really not a whole lot of splash except for Banelings. And mines and Marauders do fairly well against these. Corruptors return back home from their fantastic mission at peeing on a planetary. I wonder if they felt good after that, you know? This type of a community peeing that they do. For them, the world is just a massive public bathroom in a way. There's no more medevacs with this army currently. There's a lot of units though. The question is, are just having units enough? I'm not sure. We need an EMP. That could be big. He sees this, right? Yeah, just EMP once on these fungalers. Or the infestors, as some people call them. Could be useful. Mine will get taken out. Does not get the hit off. Big fumble hits as well on 2 of these ghosts. A bunch of the Marauders. 15 workers go down on the side of Spirit. As this time around, the turrets will deny the air, but then the links show up and start just attacking the SCVs, the turrets. Well, the command center is also going to fall most likely. There is almost no gas in the bank anymore though for Armani. So this is going to be a Zergling focused game from now on out. Corruptors are going to return towards the main army. Mine needs to burrow, mine needs to burrow, doesn't burrow. Stim isn't even being used yet for whatever reason. So patient, so careful with the stim usage. 2 tanks will also show up. The mine did end up burrowing, I think, in the end. Only got a single kill. There's no mining on the far right side anymore. So actually Armani right now outmining his opponent, or at least in overall resources is outmining his opponent. Let's actually take a look at the current income. Spirit is doing better. Unit lost is practically even. Practically even at this point. And that's not very common. So Armani must have been doing something correct. Here comes an infestor. Is that infestor just going to neural something? Yep, neurals the tank here. You see a big stim out of Sol. These fungals are landing big time on his army as well. Parasitic bombs helping out. All of the medevacts get taken out. And I think that this is just a little bit too much. There's still 3k in the bank here for Armani. And Sol loses his, well, most likely his final army as he completely ran out of minerals. The mine hits the corruptors. But there's a lot of hydras, a lot of banes. This planetary is going to get busted. 155 supply. GG gets called and Armani wins this game here on Berlingrad. Fantastic game, may I add. Very fun game. Lots of nukes, lots of action. Good control out of Armani, who just wins because he took good trades. That's just as simple as it is. Took very good trades throughout the game. Had a lot of creep spread. I mean, he lost 102 creep tumors. And at the end, he still had 77. So 200 creep tumors in this game. That was extremely action-packed. Impressive performance. That's going to be it for me. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And hopefully I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye-bye.